laws, but
again the implementation is a problem. Yes, and I would think that it is less now, though.
Okay.
It is less now, especially the ragging with sexual connotations is much less.
Is it reported less, or do you really think it is less?
I think it is less because there have been students that have been apprehended, they have been caught and taken to court, and there have been situations like that. So that has acted as a deterrent, I would think. So I think it was in the 1990s that the law was passed.
Right.
But it is definitely less at the universities.
But the moral brigades have come out, haven't they? I mean,
yes, you have that as well.
But surely, I mean, that to me is violence. I don't know how you take a look at that. I mean, why should anybody interfere with one's choice?
I mean, and also, a moral brigade consists of who?
Exactly.
There is actually a bit of sort of doubt as to who is this moral brigade as well. And I think there are some other interests at stake. I'm not really too sure.
But it is a difficult place to be in.
It is a difficult place to be, and I think a lot of female students have been complaining about the sort of the...
Because in a sense you graduate from that too in the workplace, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. That's right. But the University of Colombo also has a sexual harassment policy.
Okay.
They have a code, which was I think introduced when Professor Gunasekara was Vice Chancellor, and which basically is quite comprehensive and says, if there is an issue that it needs to be dealt with, and there would be a committee set up to deal with it. So that is quite progressive.
Where would you start talking about these issues? I mean, in a sense, to me, it strikes me as being a bit too late to start talking about it once you enter the workplace. Should you be, I don't know, should you be talking about it in school?
I think, Sanjana, it goes back to the age-old sort of...
Family,
parents, children, school,
Did your parents
children.
talk to you about this?
Not really. My parents are doctors, but they didn't really, talk to us about these issues at all. I mean, it is far too late. I think, some of the harassment that we undergo as school girls in the buses, for example. What about the big matches? You have big, we didn't consider it violence. We didn't think it was violence. We thought it was the norm. We thought we are supposed to get heckled and whistled at and pinched and at big matches. Little realizing that it was wrong. Now when we, look back and I, tell my daughter, look, you have the right to say, please don't do that, because I don't like it, right? We never did that. So I think it starts in school. It should be starting in school, and we need to try and make sure that some of these subjects, the curricula that these kids are, learning, have incorporate some of these values, of good behavior, good, basically not tolerance, and also values of making sure that you don't infringe on other people's rights.
Final question, if you were to propose a policy or a process by which you feel through all your years of experience could really make a difference, could really make an impact, what would that be?
Well,
briefly?
I would like to, I think one of the main things is to have sort of a concerted effort on creating awareness, because what we have now are all ad hoc
piecemeal
activities which are not sort of looked at in a very holistic sense. And this happens because of the NGO community. There's a pulling factors in different ways, and if NGOs get together and work together and have a common work plan maybe, without fighting for funds from donors, this is being very critical maybe, but also being frank. I think then you would be able to actually, come up with a good work plan that would address all the different sectors. You would be looking at awareness raising, you'd be looking at training the judiciary, training the lawyers, training the counselors, whoever is dealing with violence, and at the same time working with the perpetrator and the victim.
So a broad coalition.
A broad coalition, that would be, and actually some countries do have policies on violence against women. So, it's something that we could, look at. It is something we could look at.
Well, with the big match season around the corner as well, I do hope some of those ideas percolate down to the revelry on the grounds as well. Shyamala, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks, Sanjana.